It started with a radio. Jared had just moved into his late grandfather's farmhouse in upstate Vermont to settle the estate. The place was ancient, dark wood floors that moaned beneath every step, rooms lined with outdated wallpaper that peeled in long, curling strips. The only source of warmth came from a rusted furnace that coughed more than it heated. He found the radio on his second day. It was in the attic, tucked behind a stack of moldy boxes filled with yellowed paperbacks and brittle tax forms. It looked like something from the 50s. A big, boxy tabletop radio with glowing green dials and polished knobs that still turned with a satisfying click. Curious, he plugged it into the wall socket. The moment the electricity surged through it, static exploded from the speakers, louder than it should have been. Harsh, grating. Then, a whisper. Barely there. Don't listen. Jared recoiled, heart hammering. But it had to be his imagination. Just pareidolia, finding meaning in noise. He shut the radio off. That night, he dreamed of static. Endless, suffocating. In the dream, something behind the veil of sound was clawing to get out. The next evening, as he made tea in the kitchen, he heard it again. The radio, softly crackling upstairs. He hadn't touched it. This time, the dial had moved on its own, locked onto 103.6 FM. But no station matched that frequency. He checked online. Nothing was assigned to it anywhere in the region. Still, the radio played something. The static wasn't quite static anymore. Beneath it, rhythmic pulses, patterns, voices. You're not supposed to hear us? It sounded closer this time, like someone speaking from just behind him. He spun around, heart in his throat. No one. He unplugged the radio. The static stopped, but as he turned to leave, a whisper floated through the air. Now you're part of it. He called a local electronics repairman to haul the damn thing away. Jared didn't even want money for it. He just wanted it gone. The repairman was in his 50s, balding, quiet. When he climbed into the attic and saw the radio, he stopped cold. You sure this is the one? Yes? Why? The man stepped forward, touched the top of the radio, and yanked his hand back like it had burned him. I just heard my mom's voice. She's been dead 10 years. Jared stared. You're joking. The man shook his head, eyes wide. She said my name, just now, through the speaker. He refused to touch it again. That night, Jared tried sleeping in his truck. He parked a mile away from the house, but when he woke up to a blaring hiss, the truck radio was locked on 103.6. There was no signal in that part of Vermont. No tower, no explanation. Still, the static whispered, "You can't leave the signal." Over the following week, Jared spiraled. He stopped answering calls. Food went uneaten. The house grew colder, darker. The static was no longer confined to the attic. It leaked from vents, buzzed from the television, hummed in his phone. Everywhere he turned, it followed. Always 103.6. He tested it, borrowed a neighbor's battery-powered radio, drove 20 miles into town, turned it on, and twisted the dial. At 103.6, there it was, the static, and a new voice. You can run the miles, not the broadcast. He began seeing things, not shadows, figures, stretched, flickering, their mouths open too wide, but never made sound. Not at first. Then came the dreams, not his own, other people's memories. A child lost in a grocery store, a woman drowning in a bathtub, A man staring at himself in the mirror, watching his reflection move when he didn't. Jared began waking with nosebleeds, deep scratches on his arms. One morning, 103.6 was carved into the wooden floor beside his bed. Fresh, he lived alone. He set up cameras, placed one in every room, one in the attic. The footage was corrupted every night at 3:03 a.m. Always 3:03. In the attic, during one of these blackouts, something stepped into frame. Tall, wrong. Its body flickered like a broken TV signal. Face an ever-shifting mess of static and teeth. For a full 20 seconds, it just stared into the camera. Then it lifted a finger, pointed at the lens, and whispered, "Found you." He tried destroying the radio. He beat it with a sledgehammer, burned it, buried it. The next morning, it was on the kitchen counter, pristine, playing. Only this time, there were dozens of voices, not whispering, screaming, begging, pleading. "Turn it off. They see me when you listen. It hurts. Oh God, stop listening." Some voices were in other languages. Some weren't in words at all, just agonized noises no human throat could make. The voices grew louder the longer he stood near. Then something new. His own voice joined the broadcast, screaming. The house changed. Doors led to the wrong rooms. Windows showed landscapes that didn't exist. Time looped. Sometimes it was night for days. His phone only showed 103.6 on the screen. Jared tried one last escape. He doused the house in gasoline. He set it ablaze, stood outside, watched it burn. The flames reached high into the Vermont sky, but as the house collapsed into embers, the radio sat at the edge of the field, unburned, still playing. 3 weeks later, hikers found Jared's car abandoned by the edge of the forest. Inside was a journal, mostly incoherent scribbles. One page had clear writing. "The frequency is older than us. It's not a station, it's a door. And when you listen, you answer it. Every broadcast is a knock. Every whisper is something coming through." Below that, I hear myself in the static now. No body was ever found, but the radio? It was mailed anonymously to a small electronics museum in New Hampshire. They display it in a glass case, sometimes at exactly 3:03 a.m. Visitors report hearing faint static and a voice whispering, "Now you're part of it."